And we've come here today as Morpeth Poetry Group, and we're going to be telling you the story of some of the bridges in Morpeth. And we're going to be learning quite a lot of historical detail, and it will be very carefully researched. But also some of our poets will be in role and in costume as well. So I hope that you enjoy the event.
Normally I research very, very well, and I'm very accurate. This time you may sense a little bit of poetic license that I've used. This bridge is about, this poem rather, is about the Green Bridge, which was transported at one point from Aldgate to Middle Greens. And this is my take on how it happened. The Green Bridge, an odyssey. I'm here to tell a story that you'll scarce believe is true, but God will be my witness as I stand in front of you. It's left to me to tell this tale, the others all are gone. But let me tell you about that day in 1931. The Green Bridge, now in Middle Greens, was green but now is blue. It used to stand at Aldgate at the foot of Curly Quays. For 50 years it carefully and faithfully delivered everyone who crossed it to the far side of the river. Now, I blame the motor car and people getting lazy. Cars became a status symbol, absolutely crazy. The bridge was more than adequate for those of us who walked. There were plans to build up High Church, though there'd been a lot of talk. It was, as I remember, quite an ordinary day, or to be more accurate, it started out that way. Living down High Stanners was handy for the town. I'd been in Morpeth shopping and now was homeward bound. As I walked up Aldgate, I caught up with Katie Bell. She also had been shopping and was heading home as well. She asked me if I'd heard the rumour, factually based, that this bridge that we were walking on was soon to be replaced. Old Mr. Armstrong, walking up the other way, interjected, yes, somebody mentioned just today, a better, wider bridge will be built here very soon. I'd never heard a thing before that very afternoon. As simple as that, a casual conversation that led us next into the realm of wild imagination. Suddenly I felt it, a rising wave of heat, a shuddering, a juddering began beneath my feet. And suddenly I was slipping, I was sliding, I was falling, sprawled across the bridge that now was rearing up and roaring. Now think Brian Blessed. A better bridge, a better bridge. Its voice boomed loud and clear. A better bridge. 'Twas then I felt my first real stab of fear. Who knew that bridges possessed legs? Certainly not me. But peering through the lattice, it was legs that I could see. Trousered in brown corduroy, shod in finest suede. This sudden incongruity made me quite afraid. The bridge tore free from its supports. We hung on to the sides. Tossed around like flotsam, we feared for our lives. Poor old Mr. Armstrong was flung onto the ground as the bridge's footsteps rang out with a sharp metallic sound. As the bridge limped onto Aldgate, wobbly, unsteady, it quickly became clear that it was not completely ready to set a clear course and negotiate tight spaces. As it lurched towards the clock tower, we saw shock on people's faces. It'll never fit through there, I shrieked. The bridge is just too wide. It pushed and pushed. A miracle, we were at the other side. There is probably, if you should look, a very, very faint trace on the clock tower, a scrape of pale green paint. Could the bridge be halted? It seemed that it could not. As it strode into the marketplace, stop, I cried, please stop! The green bridge wasn't having that. It simply wouldn't wait, but staggered on down Bridge Street with a rolling, drunken gait. Passers-by screamed in alarm as we went trundling by. "The green bridge has gone rogue," cried one. I feared that I might die. Katie Bell knelt praying, surrounded by spilled shopping, but determinedly the bridge strode on, showing still no sign of stopping. It headed onto Dark Lane, which was narrower back then. Before we knew it, yes, you've guessed, the bridge was stuck again. This time it was stuck fast. It couldn't move at all. As it stamped its feet in rage, I was scared that we would fall. I saw this as our only chance to make our brave escape. As I looked out at Wright's Wood Yard, my little plan took shape. Climbing up the lattice, I stood on the bridge's side. Katie Bell climbed up as well, though she looked petrified. We hoisted Mr. Armstrong up, then all stood hand in hand. And I spoke nice and clearly so they both would understand. "We'll all jump together," I said. "Ready, get set, go!" And yes, we leaped and landed on an outhouse roof below. Just before the bridge gave one last iron-rending scream, and free at last lurched past the gasworks down to Middle Greens. There it found a cosy spot where it hunkered down, right next to the ford on the other side of town. "That was an adventure," giggled Katie Bell. Old Mr. Armstrong chuckled, and in truth I did as well. The council wasn't happy. They had a word or two. Decided as a punishment to have it painted blue. But no talk of replacing it. They simply wouldn't dare. They'd wake up in the morning and just find it wasn't there. One day it may strike out again to seek another home. And I promise, if that happens, I will write another poem.